Welcome to the Fandom Foundry's show called MakerCast. MakerCast is the show where I talk to the people that make the awesome things that we love. And along the way, you may learn to become a maker too. My name is Todd Oxtra. I'm the host of MakerCast. I am joined by an artist that I met at a video game music convention. Your name is Ashley St. Lawrence, and you make awesome art. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Really excited.
Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of an introduction first, which will be great. So first I want to say the reason I am talking to Ashley now, she was at Video Game Music Con in Minneapolis, and I was listening to music. My son was there. And then I went to the Artisan Hall, which is a little different than a lot of cons I've been to. It was kind of really different group of people and different things being sold, a lot of music, which was great. And then I saw this artwork, which if you are a cat owner, we are a special breed. I'm part of a crazy cat group at my office, and I work for a pet company too. So I deal with a lot of that stuff. So when I saw this art, I'm like, oh, this speaks to me. And I know this will speak to my wife. But Ashley's company called Divine Design really harkens to people who love pets and putting them in amazing, fanciful pictures and tarot card-esque looks and, capturing some of those classic, I guess it would be Art Nouveau. I guess that's, I don't know. I'm a heathen when it comes to styles of art, but it's just amazing. And just, how regal these cats look and how magical. And this one specifically, I'm like, oh, that looks like Lulu and my cat. And yeah, just all having a good time. And you got somewhere, you just got a variety of cats doing all sorts of things. And so it was just pretty amazing when I saw it. So of course, I had to talk to you, Ashley, and we hit it off. And I'm like, wow. I love talking to people and the awesome things they make. Your art is definitely unique. It's doing its own thing. You're not doing like pictures of, the thing that's new in the moment. You're basically doing something that unique and awesome, and it's pets. And as I got to talk to you, you also are a pet owner, and pet owners are pretty awesome in my book. So with all of that, Ashley, thank you for joining me tonight because, as a very small world creator, I know some people are like, do I really want to be on this guy's show? Thank you so much for being a guest, and I'm excited to share a little bit about what you do to the world, and hopefully people also find how awesome you are as well. With that, my first question to all my guests are, what is your geek origin story? Meaning, what got you on this path of being a geeky person, but also finding an interest that doesn't follow the path of everybody else, and it's influenced you to the person you are today? And if anybody's offended by geek origin story, nerdy origin story, extraordinary origin story, whatever you choose to embrace. So give us the down low on how you became you.
Okay. This is going to go deep. This is going to go long, and I'm sorry and I'm not sorry. Okay. So I'm just going to this will just save us a lot of time. Didn't have the best parents. So like I just this will just that will just inform like the start of how everything came down, because surprising, there's spite in this story. All right. So I am one of 5 kids. I have 2 older siblings. My mom had a kid, and then my dad had 2 more kids. So I'm like the middle kid in there. And so that meant I didn't really have like a ton of the attention. And so like the first thing that I origin probably was the neighbor boy trying to get me into Star Wars. Like the neighbor boy was like 3 years older than me. Like he was in 6th grade when I was in 3rd grade. So like I hung out with his like sister, and so he had to babysit a lot, and he'd be like, "Let's watch Star Wars." And then like he'd be like, "Look, we can make the force work," when he was just like doing gravity spins. I don't know if he understood the gravity spin thing. That wasn't the force, but we were we were that young. So like so I like that stuff. And again, because my parents didn't really like super involved with me, um, I would be left to like watch cartoons on Saturday mornings or like the afternoon blocks, and that was in the heyday of Sailor Moon, um, Batman and Superman, the animated series. So and I can kind of pinpoint two real like distinct memories of there was like a conversation. Like they're like, who would you rather's powers have? Like one of those like dumb, dumb arguments that like nerd
The
culture
great
gets
geek
in.
debate, right?
Yeah. But like this is the first time it like ever occurred to me to ask that question. So I went and I asked all my friends and everyone kept picking Batman. And I was like, why would you pick Batman?
No
Bat-
powers.
I was like, we weren't old enough to be like the money be worth it, like we
Hmm.
were, and I was like, you'd have so much more, way more cool powers. Like you'd actually have powers as Superman. Like I could not argue people into like understanding they're wrong. The geek way. And as a result of this, I started getting into uh just reading comics more, which sort of really pissed off my stepmom. Like she
Oh.
hated it. She didn't think comics were real literature.
Oh.
And
Okay.
yeah. And like I had a brother. I'm one brother and four sisters. So like he had comics, but he had like stuff like The Pit and like things I wasn't allowed to really like look at
Oh, a little more
and such.
mature.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
So
was your first comic book that you owned?
all right, I don't remember the specific title, but I can tell you what it was about because it was a hardcover. I talked my mom into buying it for me because she had done something. She had like missed some weekend, so she was guilt buying me a
Mm,
gift.
okay.
And I don't remember the issue because my stepmom made me take it back. It was a hardcover um, collection of a Batman story where the Joker gets put into proper prison. Like they're going to execute him.
Oh, was it Arkham Asylum? Was it really
Uh,
creepy art?
no, it was
Okay.
very standard art. In fact, the
Okay.
thing that was really frustrating is she was like, it was too violent. And the only thing that happened that was violent in the whole comic book was the Joker at the beginning shoots up the post office. But no
Okay.
one died in it. But he
Hmm.
got arrested for shooting up the post office. And like his quote unquote crime was putting like poison, like laughing gas poison on stamps, but he didn't do it. Someone was
Okay.
framing him, and the whole comic was about proving the Joker was innocent
Hmm.
and like the moral implications of having to get the Joker off, even though it'd be better for him to,
Oh, sure.
yeah. And
The reason Batman is a hero, right? He's doing
yeah.
all the right things, and even though it ends up going wrong,
Hmm.
wow. Yeah. I mean, interesting. That yeah, your mom was kind of not getting
Hmm.
the text of what was going on versus the just the pictures.
Yeah. So she made me bring it back, but that was the first one I ever properly owned. um, but then when I got old enough to buy my own stuff, I'm all right. So jump ahead a couple of years. I make the decision to go move in with my mom, and my mom was a lot more lenient on
Hmm.
like being able to, if I didn't what's the word for it, if I if she didn't see the value in it, she wasn't like, well, you have to get rid of it. So I was allowed to like buy my own comics and do
Mhm.
my own things there. This is also when Pokemon comes out.
All
This is
right.
when Pokemon becomes, this is like the last year, then Pokemon becomes the big thing, which we'll circle back to again. But This was when Hot Topic was not owned by the Gap. So they sold
I didn't even know Hot Topic owned the Gap. Oh
the
my, or
Gap.
Gap owned Hot Topic. I did not even know that.
Yeah, this is how long, but it was
That
like,
is crazy.
yeah. So, I was watching, like, this is where I was able to buy manga for the first time because they
Mhm.
had comic book sized Sailor Moon comics.
Mm,
And it was so different from the cartoon. And that's when I learned what manga was. And that was pretty like mind blowing.
mhm,
And then I got older. I got into more things, and it turns out I didn't live too far from a comic book shop, and then I just got more and more into it. And yeah, and I became the, the nerdy girl that you see before you today. Well, woman. I'm old.
well, that excellent. So are you Minnesota native, born here, or did you move here or transplant?
I am a transplant. I
Okay.
originally was born in New York. I lived in upstate New York, which
Mhm.
when everyone says upstate, you just think all the way upstate. I lived like 45 minutes away from the city, so I was close
Oh,
enough
okay.
to be in this, like, to be like, you could drive to the city. I didn't do it too often. I was a kid. There was 5 kids.
Yeah.
Um, but I went down that way. So I lived close enough to the city to enjoy it, but not super. And then I moved down to Staten Island with my mom when I was in, like,
To go to jail? Oh, no.
oh no, I wish. I moved I moved to Staten Island with my mom because she was living there.
Mhm.
And then she
Out in the boroughs, yeah.
decided to pick us up and move us down to Florida for a few years.
Okay.
Um, and then then we moved back up, but we moved up to a different spot in New York, which was like almost on the border of literally the border of New Jersey. And I cannot stress how it was 3 minutes away. So the first thing past the state line was a gas station. So everyone, if you needed gas in the morning, you had the line like 10 people deep if you didn't go after work. Like if
Oh,
you
wow.
yeah, because it was like $2 cheaper there in
Wow.
comparison to
That's
what it
true.
was.
Don't you have
Uh,
to pay to get your, or isn't it, like, mandatory to get your gas pumped in Jersey too, which is weird?
mhm. Yeah.
So odd.
Yeah. Then we came back up, and then I went to college. um, I went to college at the Joe Kubert School of Cartooning and Graphic
Oh,
Arts.
really? That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, I remember seeing my comics.
Hmm.
Hey, go to the Joe Kubert School of Art, and his sons were
Hmm.
in it, and there's all these guys that were like alumni and all these people. I'm like, that looks so cool. I'm like, wait, you can do that? Um, wow, neat.
we can
That's amazing.
we can talk all about it. Yeah. And then I got some work after going to the school there, and then I that studio closed, and I really wasn't able to break into the
Oh,
business
really?
like I had. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I can get a little bit more in detail about it.
that's
uh,
so sad.
yeah,
Oh, so it doesn't exist anymore.
the Joe
Um,
Kubert School.
yeah,
I
it
don't
doesn't
think
exist anymore. Does it? Oh
no,
no, I thought
no,
what
no.
closed it?
My studio I was
Oh,
working
your
for
studio. What's the
after.
name of the studio?
It was Atomic Brush. I don't think it exists anymore. It
Okay.
was only 3 people. I was one of them, and the couple got divorced and they split the business. And it,
Were they known for anything that people would know of?
yeah, X-Men Noir is a big
Really?
one. Yeah, I worked on it a
Oh,
little
very
bit.
cool.
It
Oh,
was
very
really
cool.
fun for a
Well,
bit.
here we go. For people unaware of the Kubert School, here it
Mhm.
is right here. Joe Kubert, an amazing Sergeant Rock, and in a lot of his titles, he did, a lot of things. And it was, I believe he was part of kind of like the Marvel way of doing art for a while, but he is so influential, and having a place, right, to do this. That's awesome.
Sorry, I'm looking at the picture you have up here. That is not what my classroom looked like at all.
Oh, really? Oh, it's
Yeah.
nicer now or
Oh,
better?
way
Or
nicer, way nicer.
so this is their new
Whoa,
home
whoa,
apparently?
scroll up one
They're
more
in
time.
Madison, New Jersey?
Did they change it to Madison?
Well, it says the Joe Kubert School finds new home in Madison, New Jersey.
Yeah, okay, then it's absolutely that's not wherein I went. It was in Dover, New Jersey. That
Okay.
explains some things. Okay.
So you're
This
saying
picture.
they've elevated their game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want hey, let's just get into that. We can jump around
Sure.
topics here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I went there. That's the building I remember with the people all
Okay.
standing around there.
Got it. Got it.
um, so when I went there, it was kind of a transition period for the school. The first year we were in their building that they had been in for like 20-30 years, which was an old renovated like school.
Oh,
Like it
okay.
was
So
just
real
like,
school. Yeah.
yeah, like a real school. Like
Hmm.
um but there was some leaking problems happening um on the third floor, and they only opened the first floor for everyone to, because it's a good school, but it's a small school. Like you
Hmm.
get very
Sure.
very personalized learning, but it's not a very, like, the classrooms aren't huge. And so they didn't really need to use the third floor, and they didn't really need to use the sub basement. So it was all just this one floor. And
Okay.
so there was some damage to the building, and there was a Walgreens that showed interest in
Mm.
um, buying half their property, and they would like renovate it, the building as a result. So if they could buy, like, they were going to tear down like a good section of the school that wasn't being used, uh and then they were going to renovate the building for the next year, for the people to come in for the next year. And in the year while they had us at like a warehouse to, like, with cubicles,
Sure. Yeah.
which wasn't the
Not great.
greatest learning
No,
experience.
no. Doesn't it create a great environment unless you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna draw gross things and I'm gonna,"
Mhm,
warehouses are always the place where the villains are at. So I guess
mhm.
you'd get some real art, "Oh, there's a rat over in the corner."
Yeah. And like so at the time, they were also having some trouble holding on to some like quality teachers.
Mhm.
There was some teachers that were really good and some teachers that were really bad. And the best way to describe my situation, like at the school, was it was worth it for the good teachers. It was
Mm.
frustrating when you were paying for classes that felt really out of date. And here's an example of a class that we had. We had like mock-ups and paste-ups, which in
Mhm.
the old-fashioned days was like how you would draw, like you'd make a mock-up for like a box of cereal. Like this would be your mock-up, and like how you would do that. However, you don't do those like the way they were teaching you anymore. Like you go
Oh,
on.
so these are old school, creators?
Yeah, they were. And as far as I know, the year after me, they started changing the curriculum.
Mm.
But
Okay.
like we were in the last year of the curriculum kind of being in the old school way of doing things.
Okay.
Yeah, which, not a terrible way to learn how to do things. But
But is it completely applicable, how you're gonna work? And it's like, oh, you wanna make sure that you're getting a grounding, but obviously,
mhm.
I guess depends. So what was your goal out of, the Kubert School? Was it to, like, like, after I get through Kubert School, I'm gonna work for an art studio, draw comics, or was it just, like, anything was open to you?
I was pretty open to anything. I had dreams of being an inker. I was really trying to be a professional inker. But um it wasn't like, and I don't mean to say this in like a negatory way, because I did have a good time at the school and I did learn a
Mhm.
lot, but like um it went from being you could walk into a convention saying I went to the Joe Kubert school and they'd hire
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
to not having that ability anymore.
Okay.
So they didn't do that as much. Like there was a couple of people like the cream of the crop of the school walked in and could walk in to show their stuff to editors and get a job, but not everyone had that ability. And so I afterwards I had been shopping, not shopping around, but I was at the New York Comic Con, and this is where my Legion love comes from. Well, not comes from, but is a huge part of how I got my first real comic book job in the industry. I was walking around and I noticed a poster for a recent Legion of Superheroes um, comic, and there was like a woman sitting behind the desk. And I passed
Hmm.
by her and I was like, I'm sorry. I thought the artist who did this was a guy.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I'm his wife. He's just out walking around." Turns out he lived like 40 minutes away from me. We went to lunch a couple of times. He saw some of my work and he hired me to be his assistant.
What was the artist's name?
Dennis Calero.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
He
love the Legion of Superheroes. So there's certain eras of them that were amazing.
mhm.
The I think it was Moy
Mm,
was the one of the artists, and just an amazing run. They're such a fun group of
love the Legion.
stories, such the crazy amount of characters. Sometimes they were dark and crazy. Like there was a great storyline that Jim Shooter was involved with them, and basically very over the top and crazy for the time, considered like very dark for
Mhm.
comics at the time. And then they became kind of fun and goofy, and they were associated with Superman, and everybody had a lass. There was a lass or a boy or a lad, which was always fun, and their powers were unique. And it was like kind of like the United Nations. Everybody pretty much had a superhero that represented it. It was just a fun character, and some of the Brainiac 5, and just fun. Monel, who was like kind of a Superman character. So yeah, I'm a little because not everybody likes this Legion of Superheroes, and they think they're dumb and stupid. I'm like, no, they are a blast. They're so much fun. Kind of
They're so
forgotten, right?
they're I understand the problem with the Legion of Superheroes. I love the Legion of Superheroes more than anything. It was my comic. Once I got into comics, it was the one I try to go back and get all issues I can. The Great Darkness Saga,
That's
love
right.
that.
That's the one I'm thinking about. That's so like, dark side being involved. And
Mhm.
and then I got confused because then we got like the Legionnaires, Legion Superheroes, and they're like, they were the numbering and everything. I'm like, I'm so confused. What is what? And what are all these books? And I'm like, not easy for new readers back then, but I would
It's
eat up those old back issues for super cheap.
yeah. The All right, so I'm just gonna say it. The problem is no one knows how to do the Legion properly, and they need to give it to
Ah,
someone who knows how to do the Legion properly. And like, um, so my argument is that the thing that saved the Legion in its original run was that it continued to disconnect from the current comics ethos. Like, you could at any point pick up a Legion comic and it did not need to know what's going on and anything else in
it
the
was kind of, yeah. A lot of comics were like that. Like they had
yeah.
to be more standalone because we don't know if the readers picking up from issue one
Mhm.
or from this issue now. Because if you make it too hard,
Yeah.
what are you doing? So yeah,
Yeah.
comics used to be a little more standalone.
Yeah. And they could be 1,000. Legion 98.
Isn't that great?
Uh,
The Keith Giffen, he was a huge part of
mhm.
Legions, and doing that some really funky stuff with Lobo and some of the art styles. They're a little bit more old. Yeah, the Legion has been around forever.
I will say one thing about the new Supergirl movie. The only thing I require in this whole movie, otherwise it's a complete bomb for me, is
Uh-oh.
that it's got to be brought up that Lobo likes space dolphins. They don't have to show the space dolphins.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
space dolphins.
I love that. Yeah, that Lobo just gets brought into everything. I think I even own the first appearance of Lobo Mega Man, and I think it's signed even. So I have to look at that one up to see if I still own it. But yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of neat that it's so bizarre. I would never guess this conversation when meeting you and like, oh, she's gonna mention that she loves Legion. I'm like, oh, me too. I love it to pieces, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's just amazing. But yeah, I mean, Legion is there's been a Superboy. I think there's Superboy in the Legion cartoon, which I thought was a lot of fun too. So there's been a lot of iterations. So in regards to that, because I derailed you completely.
Yeah, no,
So
sorry.
you became an assistant
Mhm.
to one of was it the artist or writer of Legion?
The artist, it was after his Legion run, so I didn't get to actually work on the
Okay.
Legion. He was all right. So this was the sad, not long lived 3-boot version. They only got like 3 years of life.
Okay.
Um, he was the bridge between the previous artist and the new artist that was coming in.
Okay.
I wish I can remember his name. He did a bunch of very tasty. He actually did the one and only edit of redesign of Brainiac 5's costume that I was like, yeah, I can see
Really?
Brainiac, yeah. Cuz um the old all right, so the old original when they first did the change of costumes in the lead, sorry, this is going to be this
Well, there he is. I found an issue with him, Calero, right
is
there.
yeah.
This era,
So
97. Wow. Okay.
yeah. So he all right, so in the original iteration of the time when they went in and they're like, let's redesign the Legion as superheroes, the reason Brainiac 5 was still kept in the sweatpants, it was the logic of it would never occur to Brainiac 5 to change his outfit. Like he
True.
would,
That's below him, right?
yeah, it would just be like, why, like, this is comfortable, this is what I wear. It would never occur to him that you would have to redesign your costume. So when yes, that guy, that art stuff,
Look at
that
that. Those
is,
boots.
yeah,
Killer.
it's not so much the boots, but it's like I could see Brainiac 5 going, oh, I need a lab jacket. Like
Exactly.
I
With
from
that collar that makes it look like something that you'd have from like a Korean dictator, maybe.
Yeah.
Big belt. Love
Hmm.
that. Yes.
Yeah, his belt, well, he's got to have the force belt. um but that's like, if you look, that it looks like he's still wearing his old costume underneath it and just a jacket over on top of it. And I was like, I could see this as being someone got him a jacket and he's like, oh, I should wear it.
And I just love that you have like, is his name the Karate Kid? I love that too. The
Yep.
fact that, and he's got the pop collar, looks cool. And then
Yeah.
you've got other heroes here, just kind of, some of them have been re-updated, redone. And
Hmm.
yeah, gotta love it.
Yeah.
So with that, so what
Hmm.
was your experience? I mean, and obviously we want to cover a lot more of your stuff, but I mean,
Hmm.
in regards to assistant, what did that entail and what was it worth it? Did you gain what you wanted from that role? And was it more about getting coffee, or was it really more about like really getting to pick his brain and really advance your career?
um well, I would say it was a good mix of 50-50. Like, I'm not sure, like, the specific details of my hiring, of why he decided to hire me, other than like I had a modicum of talent, and he was
Okay.
looking for, because at the time, from what I understood, was like his wife was also working in this company for comic books too, and I think she wanted to move more towards illustration, and so
Mm.
he was still getting the work of two people.
Oh,
So he needed,
was she his inker?
I think she was his colorist, if I'm
Oh,
remembering
colorist. Okay.
her. Yeah. Um, so I was hired to kind of take the slack that she was, because he did 90% of everything, but like she did that extra 10, when he needed someone to fill in for him.
Okay.
So I ended up taking about, like, I want to so my basic job was to do backgrounds. do the non-important characters in a scene. Like I would do the back, like if you saw like he didn't have time to do the perspective, the gridding, all that stuff. So I would set it up to do it. He'd show me like the references he'd want, and I'd set it up to do that. And if the scene required like a big crowd, I'd be in there drawing all the little crowd, like all the people in the crowd, and he'd just like block out the space that he would put his thing in, and that's what I would.
What books were you working on with him?
The big one was X-Men Noir. I think I worked on the second iteration of that. I worked a little bit on Dark Tower.
The that series with blanking on his name. Blinking in his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but yeah, that him. Let me see if I can pull it up.
This is why everybody needs a Wikipedia entry, because like everything that they were worked on, it's like, okay, here we go.
Of course, the picture I pull up you can't read the names on it.
Well, this is a run, X-Men Noir variant. Looks like with Fred Van Lente and Dennis Calero, but I'm not sure. Like to your point, if it's the right one or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I inked that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I inked a copy of that. He did the first one, and then he sold a copy of it to someone else who wanted it for their. So
how does that work to get credits? Do you have to do enough of it to get a credit, or how did that work?
I was like subcontracted.
Oh, okay.
Like, so yeah. So he and I mean I liked it. I thought I learned a lot. Like I was saying, my school left a bit of a gap for I'm sorry, that's not the one I helped work on. It was the Magneto one. Now that I'm looking at it.
What was it called?
The Magneto, the X-Men Noir, the Magneto cover's the one I worked on. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. I mean, this is great. I kind of do this on the fly just to make sure, it's kind of helpful. That's why this is, audio is great, but I always say video is great because you actually get to put your work, the context, the characters, and the things you kind of connected to. If I can do it fast enough and find the right image, So let's see. Here we go. Is this? Nope.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I did. I did the copy of. He did the first original, and then someone bought a copy.
Of course, I can't blow up the image.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, that's amazing because I always think of, I don't know if you've seen the movie Mallrats. No, not Mallrats. Chasing Amy. Where the joke is, oh, you're an inker, tracer, right? Yeah, which I'm like, I think it's so funny because I'm like, no, they had a depth and they had all of these different elements to the picture that, a bad inker is going to destroy your art. A great inker is going to great. Klaus Janson, I mean, he's one of probably the most famous inkers, and Jimmy Palmiotti working with Joe Quesada, and, just some of their stuff just looks amazing. So did you have I guess, would you say you had something that drew you to inking? Like,
it was the thing I felt I walked away with at school with the best. At the time, I was the most confident with inking than anything else. So I was like, so skipping back to the Kubert curriculum, for every bad class that was not like, you're like, this doesn't really apply to anything anymore, there was like a lot of classes that were just really good for fundamentals. And
I was looking at the curriculum. A lot of it was just like the basics of like human anatomy. How does it? Did you have one of those little little standee models? It was like with the little head and everything.
No, we had live models come in.
Oh, like dressed models, nude models, anything under
Naked
the sun?
ladies.
Naked ladies, really? Okay.
One naked
like
dude.
I was gonna say because I mean, it's so funny because talk about like, oh, the women are showing so much skin. I'm like, well, the guys are essentially just wearing bodysuits. I mean, everything's shown. It's just like a layer of paint,
We
essentially,
did.
right?
Our dude was naked. He did come in naked, so I will
Because
say
you
that.
got to know what that looks like if you're drawing a comic, right?
Yeah. I can't remember her name. But she actually was a famous. The one who came in the most was like a
Oh,
famous model. She did a lot of those like 80s.
it's like Julie Strain.
I have to see her face. I'm so bad with names, and it was so long ago.
Okay, because there's some women that I think of like, well, one was Peter Laird. I think his wife was Julie Strain. Well, Peter Laird, he drew the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he married this beautiful woman named Julie Strain, who happened to be a B model or B movie like Siren, and it's like, oh yeah, I could see where he got his inspiration.
It might have been her. I'm looking at the art. I can't. She was a redhead. She was a famous redhead.
Oh, redhead,
that's
then.
the
Okay.
yeah. She was famously like I think the model for Red Sonja actually.
Okay. Oh, I'm thinking of like, okay. So I probably can put 2 and 2 together, but that's awesome. But yeah, here's like the curriculum with which it kind of gives you like the different levels, and looking here, it's like these are some of the classes you can take. It. I don't know. Does this look similar to what your the curriculum look like? It's kind of small, but I can probably make it bigger. Oh, I'm not sharing it either. Am I? No, there we go. That helps.
Okay, so I didn't have imaginative writing. I didn't have digital in color. No business one.
Really? So yours is more focused on specific like art focused only, not some of the other
Yeah.
I would say different elements of it?
No
Okay.
no editorial and digital production.
Okay.
And dynamic figures? No, none of that.
Oh, here we go. This is even tell you animation. It's for animation, maybe.
They got rid of animation. That was the last year. They brought.
Okay.
I guess they brought
it back. Interesting. Well, I did notice that they have like a way to like they bring back alumni. Like my wife's school, she went to her master's of Masters of Fine Arts for children literature. So looks like they want you to come back though.
They would love that.
Yes, alumni money.
Yeah. So like basic drawing, human figures, narrative art, inking, those were all classes I had. We also had which I'm actually surprised they took this one away. Classes that were makeup of your like what tools and materials. I think it was like
Okay, so for like representing like the real world elements, things like that, or actually just your tools, like
just like a tool.
pen, pencils, and things like that.
Yeah, like one of them was like a fancy paper. If you put chemical on it, it
Okay.
would make like a thing. It would give a different technique.
Sure.
Which I understand how everything has trended towards digital. That a lot of those classes are probably gone now.
I'm wondering. I'm just looking in to see, like, they basically looks like they have 3 first full-time curriculums, and they have additional studies, things like that, and then it's all under cartoon graphics. Let's see. But yeah, to your point, it doesn't look like there's that. It looks like just more building on those other areas, and then maybe advanced techniques. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. That's interesting. So what year did you graduate?
2006, I think.
Okay, so that was, it's kind of funny because there's always been some type of computer art. I remember back in the day, there was a comic book. Wow, there was a Batman comic. It was the first digital comic book ever, and I think it was called Batman Digital Justice. Did you ever see this comic?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you will laugh because I thought it was really cool because it was made like in the early 90s, late 80s, and it was computer animated art. Before AI, but I mean, let's see. It was called Batman Digital Justice, and this is horrible because you're gonna look at it like, oh my god, this is horrible. But as a kid, I thought it was just the coolest thing in the world. Let's see if we can find some pictures of it.
I grew up on Reboot.
It kind of reminds me of Reboot, but like this is the cover of the comic. It's not great. Computer generated. but then you get into some of the other pictures, and it's just kind of wacky that, oh, here we go. Here's an image right there. Look at that.
Yep.
Very rebooty.
Very rebooty. Yeah.
It was just an odd thing. It was like, and I
Mhm.
don't even know the year. Let's see. Let's see if they'll give us a year on this. But yeah, just kind of an odd choice. Some of the interesting things, and some of the art was just, the artwork was all very not consistent in a lot of ways. Like they were doing weird things, and but it was odd. And at the time, it just like, oh,
I,
innovative, but not exactly, didn't make a mark.
I'm gonna
More of
make
a
a bold,
gimmick.
maybe something that will get me accused of some things, but that looks like Sandman. Like someone thought,
Oh, like
oh,
some of Sam Key's art.
yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, you know, we're
Yeah.
gonna go wild with it instead of consistent.
Yeah, some of the Sam Keith art, I think of even like I that one book I was telling you about, uh, Batman Arkham Asylum. I think that was Phil Sienkiewicz's art, and he's an art he's a inker as well from the X-Men era, and his art is crazy. Like, I mean, let's see, Batman. And this is not based on the comic books, but basically, this was a really cool graphic novel back in the day. And I don't know if it's gonna be here. I'd probably put comic because now it's all about the video game. But yeah, very crazy art. Very let's see if I can find an image of it. Oh yeah, Grant Morrison. This was Dave McKean, and Dave
Mhm.
McKean. He was very famous for doing like a lot of multi uh, material art, sometimes
Mhm.
using real aspects. You can kind of see in his art here. I don't know if they let you see the individual pages. Oh, here's a sample. Maybe let me see it. So, but just a crazy book. Grant Morrison did some crazy things, kind of hard to follow. Just, I mean, mixed media
Mhm.
and crazy that this was a Batman book back in the day. And like, wow,
I think
kind of
I've
blows your
read
brain.
this before. If I'm looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a crazy book where I think believe Batman actually goes into Arkham Asylum and gets trapped there as like an inmate. I think that's the whole premise. I never read it. Yeah. So, but yeah, so it is interesting. We talk about like the different mediums, things like
Mhm.
that. Kind of the tools that have changed. So
Yeah.
that might be a good pivot then into. I've actually asked you a lot of questions. We've been talking about a lot of cool stuff. So, um, I think we've hit a little bit of thing. So far, what's your favorite like project you worked on, or something that you're like, wow, this was my opportunity to just have a lot of fun, enjoy myself, or it was an amazing challenge. I loved how it turned out. Or, is there something in your back pocket that could maybe be like, well, what was my favorite? One was the most challenging and most rewarding. So that could be many things. But is there any thoughts on that?
Um. So it ended up being very disappointing,
Oh,
but
okay.
towards the end. But when I got to work on it, I was very excited. I actually was the nail pinch in what got us the job. When I was still working in that studio I was talking
Hmm.
about. Uh, I got to work on a Doctor Who. For many reasons, it turned out to be disappointing. But remember that like short-lived Showtime Torchwood? I think it was Showtime.
Oh, Torchwood, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I think Sci-Fi Channel ran it, I think, for a
yeah,
while, maybe,
yeah,
but yeah, what was it Doctor J or no, Captain Jack with his
yeah.
team, and
Captain Jack Harkness,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so they had like an American version of Torchwood for like a
Oh,
hot
okay.
second. It is not good.
Oh, no.
It is not good. It canceled the whole show as a result. Like I think um Children of the Earth did really well, so they were like, "All right, an
Yeah,
American investment was like, let's come in and let's do like another that."
mhm.
And it was bad.
Aw.
Like it ended up killing I think Torchwood completely. Um but before we knew it was bad, I was very excited to work on it. I got to do the bridged comic, and I don't know if it's still out there. Um,
Okay.
the bridge comic between Torchwood, where it ended last, and where the Torchwood story was going to go. So we were doing like the bridge
Oh,
prequel.
from TV to, you were
Yeah,
basically the TV series to the comic to then bridging to something
yeah. So
else.
if you were like,
Okay.
"Oh, this is what happened in the 4 years between projects," and
Oh,
yeah, so like this is what happened between this story and this story if you want to know. And um I was really excited to work on it. um I got about 10 pages into the comic. We were making it motion animated.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Yeah,
so that
I
was
remember some motion comics, and they were kind of
yeah.
fun. They were like, heightened. Did you see that for like a lot of comic book trailers now, where it's
Mhm.
like you'll see it where they move the panels, and it's very,
Mhm.
very, very
Yeah.
cinematic.
Yeah. And they eventually dropped us from the job,
Oh,
which was really sad. And I don't think for any work that we did, I think it was like something along the lines of like the the people in charge of making decisions refused to make decisions. So
ah,
then deadlines like kind of got tight. Like
cut it.
we'd send them over and we'd send them over like we'd send them over like, all right, this is what the characters are going to look like. And then they'd come back and they're like, oh, we want these 12 edits. And then we'd do the 12 edits and then we'd send it back to them. And then they'd be like, we want these other like 10. Like they were just eating all of our production time with
Oh no, yeah,
little things like that.
overkill, right? And then it's like, well, now we're not going to have any time to do anything.
Hmm.
Uh, So with all of that heartache, did you have anything to show from that project? Like, did you have anything to take away to like just say, "Hey, I actually did something," versus like a lot of people that work on projects that get canceled, like, I spent 3 hours on that. I have nothing to show. I can't put anything in my, was there at least a silver lining in this sad cloud?
Um, Sort of like I have all my art still, like because I was doing it digitally at the time. I have
Oh,
like
okay.
a hard drive I can pull up and just
Nice.
enjoy
They
that
didn't
I
burn
work.
all the real copies and like, "Oh, you're screwed."
Yeah.
So can you do anything with that art? Is it like verboten? Was it like there was like a do you have any like contractual things that said nope, you can't do it?
No, I could post them. I used to post like snippets of what I was doing
Mhm.
a little bit more. I never really got a ton of traction, so I
Mm.
just like it kind of feels hard to feed the machine sometimes when you don't get traction.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. It is one of those things. It's like one of those things that with Doctor Who right now, it's kind of in a lull, but I feel like it's going to come back eventually. And it's almost like I think people enjoy things that are kind of like, oh, this is unique and want to own things from eras that are kind of like, didn't even know that existed. So I appreciate that you have something to show, something to feel like that's a part of your heart after they put it on the floor and pounced on it. So let's pivot then to something a little bit happier. So I mentioned something like favorite project, whatever, and you said that kind of landed on a sad note. Is there something on the reverse of that that was a little more of a wow, that was awesome. I'm so glad.
Okay, so this also ends on a sad note, but
No!
not for
Ashley, you fooled me. You said, "Ah!" Okay.
but this one I brag about to this day,
Okay.
and like it's not my fault. It's not our studio's fault. Like it wasn't um this was again Hollywood mixing and ruining things. Um I, along with the other person, Dennis Calero, was originally going to be the Hollywood artists for the original Dark Tower movie. Uh,
Oh. Oh,
but
yeah.
unfortunately, like the original plan with not Ron Howard, I think his name is.
Oh, yeah, Ron Howard was gonna make this, like, TV and movies, and they got one movie with,
Mhm.
Matthew McConaughey, and was it Idris Elba? Was in that movie?
Yeah, but he didn't get to do it. So what happened was
Yeah, okay.
we got all the way to actually talking to Stephen King, which was pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Um, we got all the way to getting the okay because he has to approve the art,
Mhm.
a lot of stuff, and we got the okay. We were going to be the team behind the Dark Tower,
So
and
you were
then
gonna do like and this is interesting because I have a cousin who's she's in production in Hollywood. She does
Mhm.
commercials, she does movies, she does TV and stuff like that. So you're doing more of are you doing more like the conceptual, like I'm
Yeah,
building out this world? Is that what
we
you're
were
doing?
going to be the conceptual artists for the Dark
Oh, that
Tower.
is so cool to like I delivered
Just
what they
there.
needed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
that's so cool.
unfortunately, again, it was one of those things that
Yeah, the project failed, right? It just
the
fell off.
yeah, just
Yeah.
the time window where Ron Howard could direct got eaten. and he couldn't do it anymore, and so it went to someone else, and we just weren't a part of that process going forward. They started over from scratch, and they didn't call us to say, hey, you still have the job.
So many projects. There's so many stories about what could have been. I used to do a lot of like, oh, this was what was supposed to happen. And then you hear rumors and buzz and everything like that. And it's like, and all these people that get very excited and it's like, oh, working on it. It's just like, no, didn't work. Sorry. Like, but wait, that was supposed to be my thing. And this is the one thing I was thinking about with the Dark Towers. Jay Lee did this adaptation of in the comics, and his art was always so unique to me. So
Mhm.
this is written by Peter David, which is just kind of crazy. Peter David is one of my favorite authors, and I actually got to interview him at a Minneapolis comic show because it was so funny because I was just going around like, "Hey, sir, I do a comic book or I do a podcast that I want to interview people." He goes, "Well, what are you doing right now?" I'm like, oh crap, I am not prepared. So like I try to set up my phone and it still was fun. I have it. I'll have to bring it back. So you take that chance. What do you say? If you don't take the shot, you don't get a basket. So in your case, you took a shot
Mhm.
and unfortunately the target was removed
The
for
target,
making that shot.
the target. I want to say it's kind of the situation in my life. I get right up to like something being, oh, this is gonna blow up, and then
It's
it
Lucy in the
collapses.
football with Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Yoink.
Yoink.
You're like, I won't get fooled again unless it's a really cool opportunity and I'm ready to get fooled again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, with that, do you have it? Like, once again, do you have anything like that you got to keep, or was it all kind of like, nope, it's going in the Ron Howard bin where he will never release it?
Same hard drive. Same
You
hard drive.
know, from a portfolio building, at least, I
Mhm.
would feel like that is worth something that you can say, hey, this is what I've been involved in. And if they had let me cook, it would have happened. Ron Howard, you should have talked to me. You let me down, Opie Cunningham, or whatever we're calling him now. The,
The
the,
good
the
news
director of
is,
Splash.
and my partner is a huge Dark Tower fan, so he just gets to be delighted that, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I worked on the comic a little bit and I almost made it to the movie.
That's like my wife. My wife got a chance to write, 3 Teen Titans Go novels, or not. But they're basically like graphic novels in a lot of ways. Oh, not really. She calls it whatever, but it's basically like there's one. It's for kids, so it's like where
Mhm.
there's like it's a book, but there's like a illustration every two
I've
pages,
seen
really.
stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's fun. She just loved it because she got to like write their voices and
Mhm.
and and she took her shot because she's like, hey, does Capstone do any books for DC? Yeah, I'd like to do those. And because she said it, she got it and she got to work with an amazing artist, which was great. So collaborations are really important in art,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, oh,
So
yeah.
you may, yeah, I mean, you're like you said, if you want to be an inker, you got to work with a penciler. You got to,
Mhm.
if a penciler's got to work with a writer, unless you're doing both, and then you've got to have the letterer, and then you've got to have, I mean, there's so many people involved in a comic book that people don't even know. A colorist, and what does that mean? And like, wait, a letterer is important? Well, yes, it is, because if you use the same,
Mhm.
Comic Sans for everything or whatever it was, it's not going to stand out. You've got to be unique in your, and then a letterer can get really excited about the way he brings out the dialogue. And same thing with a inker, a colorist, and people make really interesting decisions. And you're like, why is it so pink? And so with an inker, like, why did you decide to like, we've seen that where it's the collaboration. You see these great art teams where it's like, oh, inker and artist are like in hand. They become a team because they know each other so well. They know what they can complement each other. So in that case, would you say you have had any really fun collaborations that you really enjoyed?
Yeah. I mean, I've had a bunch of collaborations. I tend to really not get, most collaborations are pretty fun because like a lot of what I do now is so to skip like one project, I'm just as this isn't something I get paid for, but I'm the lead artist on the Canadian conservative uh photograph. I should probably get the name right.
Yeah, I'd love to show it because I'm like, where are we
Yeah.
going? It's Canadian,
Mhm.
it's conservative. What is this going
Um
on here?
sorry. Um Photo. Let me get it, photography. The Canadian Conservative Photographers Collective. That's
That's a lot of C's.
yes, you can see why. So I'm in charge of doing their graphics for like merchandising.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can give you the link to that if you'd like to shout them
How did
out.
you get involved with that? I don't think you have Canadian ties. My wife's book was published by a Canadian publisher, which is kind of fun. And I have a lot of friends in Canada, but we don't live in Canada. We live in Minnesota. And I mean, so that's kind of interesting how you got connected with them. I'm going to share that. And then you tell me more about this.
I just was like answering a job posting that they had. They were looking for someone to do merch, and I had experience designing merch. So
is it more in the shop and prints? Is that where I need to look?
No, it's not out yet. We're actually
okay. So it's a preview. So come back here when it's available.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. But look at these.
Yeah.
Look at this beautiful art. Oh my goodness.
They were interested in someone who was good at animals, and I'm pretty decent at animals. So
oh wow. Look at these, just metal prints, all these different prints, and beautiful photos, and I mean, and then wow, this is awesome. I love this.
I can show you if I can upload it real quick.
Is it allowed? Are we doing something illegal?
No, it's fine. I can just show
perfect.
you. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no like NDAs.
This is free publicity for them, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So there we go. Hey Canadians.
Maybe I can screen share. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, if you want to screen share, go ahead. Present your screen, and you do you, because I'm like sharing stuff kind of like haphazardly. I'm kind of like a drunk monkey. What can I find the page? Here it is.
Right. So here, I'll screen share that, and we can lead this into my programming, the programs that I use.
Excellent.
Let me see. Let me just make sure it's close that tab, because I haven't screen shared in a while.
You should be able to like present or invite in the
actually, I finally
I'm gonna remove mine from the stage. Maybe that's what's the problem.
Okay.
Remove that. I'm gonna.
I just have there we go. I have a whole. I share my computer with my partner, and so I have a ton of like things that don't work for me that I have to figure out how to when I'm like 4 different screens. So I just want to make sure everything's all right.
Look at that little guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Awesome. So I guess we should probably, like, if anybody's not watching, what are we looking at, Ashley?
Okay, we are looking at a sea lion, and this will be a design for a t-shirt, or a tote, or I think a cup holder, maybe a cup that they are going to sell to help fund their work and what they're trying to do. And they back causes like anti-hunting, anti-farming, like things like farming minks and stuff like that. They're very anti that stuff. So they try to find the best printers that are environmentally not super impactful. They're not trying to find slave labor to make this stuff. So it'll be a little bit more expensive, but it'll be cotton, organic, and stuff like that.
Well, it's for a good cause, too.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And I tell you, illustrations work better when you're putting them on things than photos, to be honest. It just ages better. You can add like character. I mean, I'm assuming someone might have ever gotten a photo like this with this little guy, but you can add the character, those beautiful eyes, the cheesy mustache, that these characters have. I mean, I love them. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a 1-to-1 of the actual image reference that I used, but it's pretty close. They had some really gorgeous, interesting photos. So
sure.
I took the ones that I found the most cute and worked from that point forward on them. Yeah. So
I will tell you right now, Ashley, I'm addicted to watching these 2 otters on YouTube. I think it's Kataro and Nara. I think their names are. I've been watching them. A Japanese person owns them. They take them to things. So you know what? put a lot of time into sea otters because they're adorable.
Yeah. I don't need to stop sharing. Okay. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that work. That's great. It's another extension of yourself. So in regards to other projects that you're excited about. Obviously, this is one of the ones you talked about. But the tools of the trade,
Mhm.
the skills, the training, and those things. It's like you've gone to school, you've done all these different things. Um, if somebody's like, you know what, I really want to do something in art, is there any like, hey, read this, practice this, and at a minimum, get this because money, time, effort. There's a million things, a million books on how to draw. I mean, my wife buys, I think, a billion of those books. So, is there anything like you'd say, like, what's been most helpful for you, and kind of like what your most used tools and what the knowledge base you've gotten from that's helped you?
Okay. I'm going to do some Peter B. Parker
All right, let's go.
advice, not necessarily what you'll typically get. First of all, you don't have to buy Photoshop. You should know how to use Photoshop. You don't have to necessarily buy Photoshop.
All right. Well, you don't even buy it anymore, right? You have to rent it, and it's
You have to
expensive
rent
every
it.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are programs out there that can do almost as good, and depending on what you need it for, better than Photoshop.
Do you use
Um,
GIMP? Because that's a
I
tool I heard is free, but I don't know if it's that good anymore.
no, I use a program called Clip Studio, but I
Hmm.
use mostly for drawing and coloring, and so I can that program. I'll just show it up real quick.
Yeah.
They're not paid sponsoring me. They should.
No, but I mean, if you like, I
Yeah.
always say this: if something is helpful for you and you love it, hey,
Yeah.
pitch it
Okay.
out there. And if they get another sale, like my son does a lot of music programming and things
Mhm.
like that, composing, and it's like it's amazing how expensive some of these things can be. So
Mhm.
and it sucks that Whoa, there we go.
Okay, so this is called Clip Studio. It used to be called Manga Studio. You don't have to care about the name. It can also work for an animation program. You can do things, set up animation tracks here if you're really interested in learning that.
Hmm.
It works really well for comic books because it's built specifically originally in Japan for
Oh,
comic book
manga, right?
artists.
But
Yeah,
it's
it was.
backwards.
Uh-huh. Well,
The page.
well, when they originally brought this over, it was during the craze of the anime, like the big anime
Oh, okay.
craze. So
Yeah.
they brought it over, calling it manga, hoping it would boost sales. And then they rebranded themselves when they realized it was kind of an outdated term and it wasn't really boosting the sales and was kind of keeping them in a niche.
Ah,
So
okay.
so now they're Clip Studio, and it is. I consider it a pretty comparison to Photoshop. That's so this is the program I used. Cost me $80. I've
Is
upgraded
this
it.
on Windows, Mac? Which
Windows.
platform?
They
Windows.
I
Okay.
use Windows. That's my second piece of advice.
Hmm.
Uh, that you don't actually need to have an Apple computer. They'll tell you
How
need to have.
dare you say that? I have a MacBook Air my son was supposed to use for his college, and he's like, "Dad, I want a Windows PC because I need to run this music program." I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
interesting."
A lot. I learned on a Mac. I learned all the commands I needed to learn for all these programs on a Mac, and then the real world came, and it was like a lot of programs don't run as well on Mac.
Mhm.
So you had to make the choice, and quite frankly, something goes wrong on a Mac, you have to leave it in someone else's hands to fix. If you something goes wrong on a PC, you can kind of figure it out on your own. Like, and that's the thing. You'll have to learn how to use the tools that you're using, and that
Yeah,
includes being kind of understanding how your computer works. You don't have to be able to build a PC, but you kind of need to understand how your PC works if you're working.
troubleshooting. Yeah,
Troubleshooting,
that's fun.
yeah, troubleshooting. You need to understand your hardware requirements. You need to understand if you can add to your build what kind of graphic cards you need. You can't just kind of go into the store and la-di-da it. And
No.
obviously, lots of people don't do that anymore. But still, it's better to put it out there and let people know you don't
So,
have.
so with illustration, obviously, my wife has played around. She likes to, she's tried to take some art classes. She took one from Mike Kunkel, who's an amazing comic book artist, was in animation, really great guy. Hero Bear and the Kid is amazing. I don't know if you've ever checked it out before. Very whimsical. It's actually what I got for her to get her into comics, and she was like, "Oh, this is amazing." So she's taken some art, but every time I'm like, "Oh, she got a iPad Pro something or other," because she's like, "Honey, you could work on this and try some things, and for your art." And it's like she's so hesitant, right? She's old school. She's, far older than you. Actually, she's even a little bit older than me, but she looks younger. But it's like it's kind of that thing of, as an artist, it's like I understand the desire of pen and paper and different art, but I'm like, once it's there on the page, if you screw up, you don't have a way to translate into something else. You kind of have to start over. So I remember her doing her first book that was self-published. She did the art for it. I'm like, it took her a long time, because like, if she screwed up or couldn't take the one image she already did and like build on it, because she's essentially starting from scratch. So for you, do you use like any type of like tablet or interface when you do your art? How does that work?
I am using a Huon tablet, Cintiq tablet.
Oh,
It's
Cintiq. I've heard about them. They're very cool. So you're
it's not a
drawing
Cintiq.
independently of the screen, right?
My monitor is my drawing pad.
So you're like bringing it down,
yeah,
and drawing on it.
I can adjust it. Yes, right now it's up, so my my camera can see me properly.
What is the model number? I'll share it so people can see this.
Yeah, it's the fanciest one.
Oh,
let me look at pen display. It is Pro. It is, I believe, the Canvas 27.
oh wow, you've got a big one.
Yeah, it's big. It's fancy. It's 4K.
Holy cow!
And it costs.
You fancy girl.
Yes. Well, this was my inheritance. This is the one thing I bought.
So I don't know if this is the right one or not. I'm going to put it up on the screen. You tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Is Wacom Cintiq Pro 27 Creative Pen Display?
No, that it is specifically a Huon. Let me actually look at the back of my thing here so I can make this correct.
Okay. Well, we're talking about a huge landscape space tablet that is pressure sensitive. And does it have like programming inside of it, or you just like get your program you love and then the Wacom becomes your, or the Cintiq becomes your like just interface?
Okay. It is just an interface, essentially. It is a very fancy.
It's your canvas.
It's my canvas.
Owner's perspective. Okay, great.
Yeah, and it is the Huon version. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because if I had gotten this exact model in the Cintiq, the Wacom Cintiq, it would cost.
What's the name of it again? Can you spell it for me?
Yeah, let me see if I can. The Huon.
Is it Huon, like Q-U-W-N?
I'm gonna send you the link right now to the company. And it is.
Oh, here. I think I see it.
Yeah.
I think I see it. Is this the one? No, I see a. Maybe this is it. I think this might be it. I will put it on the screen. Is this it?
Yes.
I love how they misspell canvas, but that's okay. It's so expensive anyway. I love this thing. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is my monitor and my canvas, essentially.
So if I looked at you, like if I was like, oh, is that like you as this girl doing that? Kind of like, that would be you work. That would be your work style.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more lower.
Okay.
I work it is. See, now that did not come with mine.
Hey, they want to charge extra. I get it. So
I am butchering. I butchered a So to get into the complicated story about how I got into drawing on these, so I was using the base model since Wacom ones, which was
Mhm.
like for the longest time, and then
Yeah.
my studio gave me a slightly better but very used Wacom. And that was the one that was just like to your side, you're drawing while like you're
Oh,
looking
okay.
at a monitor screen.
Yeah,
And
it's like you're basically you're looking as you're drawing, which I can't imagine doing that. It's like chewing bubble gum and
Mhm.
talking at the same time for me.
Yeah. So then my friend he went in out and bought a knockoff of a knockoff essentially
Sure.
of a Cintiq, and like not even the Huon brand, which is the official, like everyone considers the knockoff one.
Sure.
Um, and that one had a built-in um, you pull the back and the monitor collapses at like a slow level. So I don't
Oh, it
have to
looks like this has something in the back. Is that like not is that like what you're talking about? Like there's like almost like a stand in the back?
no, I have like a proper stand that I can adjust to
Okay.
different like almost like a laptop stand, like where you can adjust it to
Sure.
different lengths
Yeah.
if you want it.
Mhm.
So my monitor stand is like that, which I highly recommend if you can find one, because I don't like the built-in stand, because the
Got it.
built-in stand is in a weird spot. Like it's the built-in stand is on the side where you put all the plugs on.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's not like you can't really adjust and move it around the way you want.
Yeah, so it looks like this has that ability. I forget what they call it. It's like the
Mm.
Visa thing. It's like essentially it's a way to attach
Mhm.
something to the back of a monitor or something, which means it's adaptable. You can get that, which means then yeah, you can find the right thing that's good for you versus like
Mhm.
I forgot what there's like a I think there was a Apple monitor stand or something that was like $3,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? Just for the stand? Crazy. So so this device is awesome. I've
Mhm.
always wanted to get one for my wife and my friend Steven Shoskin, who he's the illustrator and creator of Pizza and Taco. Great guy. And I saw that he has something similar to this. I'm like, I'm just so jealous, but I'm like, what would I even do with it? Because I'm not an artist. I don't know anything about that. But I'm like, the fact that this is something that you can use to bring your images to life in a way that allows you to like experiment so quickly, right? That's
Yeah.
the value, right? It's
Mhm.
like, oh, change the color, change my pens, my tool sets, oh, colors,
Mhm.
and play around with it, save it, make a small adjustment. Oh, undo. I can't imagine Jack Kirby having this type of technology. What he would even think is like, oh crap, I could put out 300 comic books a month because that dude is fast. But
Mhm.
this, like, I mean,
Yeah.
so I'm glad to hear that you're embracing some of that. I know some people are diehard like old pen and paper, but I'm like, I think for you, that allows you to be it's productivity, right? For you as an
It's
artist to say, yeah,
it is productivity, and I'm also going to say that the not kind of the nice way to say this, product supply chains has gotten so awful that it makes it really hard to rely on product supply chains. Like if
mhm,
I need a particular, like, your page matters when you're doing art. And if you
mhm.
can't get your page, if the company that was making the comic book pages you're drawing on no longer exists, then you got to find another one, and you have to go through a ton of time and effort to find a second a good replacement, backup, whatever. And that applies for everything, for ink, for brushes. Like you could have the best ink in the world that you'll love, the best pencils, and then they're not sold anywhere in the US for 6 months. And then what are you going to do when you run out of those supplies? And
It hurts your process, right? Because it's like essentially then you're relearning what those tools are capable of, which means what are you doing? You're basically wasting time
mhm,
and maybe hurting your output.
yeah, and it also boils down to like it gets frustrating having to find new supplies. And I kind of reached a point where it was like I don't have time to open and test this out, see if it works. It's going to and it just becomes time is money kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's
And
not like they're gonna let you to return it, right? Because 'Cause you're gonna be
yeah,
like, "You used it."
used it. I mean, some companies are pretty cool. Like you might find an art supply place that's like, if you don't like it, bring it back. We'll try something else. But that's time you got to go back. Time you got to to
My wife
adjust.
doesn't really like returning things on Amazon. It's super easy. So yeah, I totally get
Yeah,
your pain. Yeah.
and so like I find it's easier to be consistent if you are able to consistently do things. Like one of the product I was mentioning earlier, the Clip Studio software, has been consistently good. I've had very few problems with it. The hardest problem I've ever had with that is um, it can be a little frustrating when I upgrade my Windows to get everything to be working correctly. Because
Oh,
and then like, it hasn't happened in a long time, but when they first rolled out Windows 11, there was a lot of pressure sensitivity incompatibilities, but they fixed that.
yeah. You're relying on like, because all of these support services from uh, software providers, like, oh, we'll get to you when we get to you.
Yeah.
But I
Hmm.
mean, the fact that, you have something that you can adapt with, grow
Hmm.
with, and then it's like, oh, but it's not, it's that the cost of the software isn't going to, destroy you. It allows you
Yes.
to say, "Oh, okay, well, I can get an update
Mhm.
or replace that. Like my
Yeah.
son, some of the software he does is like, oh, this is the cost of the software, but oh, if you want the trumpet pack for music, it's $150. And it's like, wow, as a music educator, for him, he's gonna be a teacher. It's like, he's not gonna make that much money, but, it seems like they should do more to help him because,
Hmm.
yeah, he'll influence artists in the future.
Yeah.
So in regards to the next steps though, so you've got your tools, you've got all these cool things. So not everybody's obviously going to be able to go to the cool, awesome Kubert school that is no
Hmm.
longer in Dover, New Jersey.
Can't believe they
Um,
moved. I'm gonna have
I
to call
know.
my
What are you
college buddy.
doing?
have to call
My
my
wife would
college
always
buddy and let him know.
yeah, my wife would always say, "Well, but there are places that teach
Hmm.
classes, like there's the Loft in Minnesota, which if you want to learn how to write, that's a great place. The Loft downtown, it's amazing. From yourself, I mean, I know we're kind of probably going a little bit local, but if you were
Hmm.
like, hey, if you're in Minnesota, there's like there's a School of Arts, things like that. But for yourself, you're like, hey, if you just want to like take a course on how to like learn human anatomy or something like that, there's got to be more affordable options, right? Just as someone who is interested, is there anything you could like recommend? Like, hey, start here and see where you go from there.
Actually, I have the cheapest suggestion possible. Buy a sketchbook. If you're interested in drawing, you probably already
Find a
have
nude
one.
model. Oh wait.
No, you don't even have to find a nude model.
Oh,
Go
okay.
down to Como Park
Oh, okay.
and practice gesture drawing, which
Oh,
is not necessarily trying to get your whole, like, trying to, if someone's sitting there drinking a cup of coffee, don't try to draw them perfectly drinking their cup of coffee. Practice the gestures, the movements of the person drinking their cup of coffee, and it's completely free, and you just practice it, and it's can feel tedious, but also like part of it is fun doing it, just going out, like sitting out in nature or at the bar, just looking at people and just quickly just drawing. um yeah, just like sitting at the pavilion and or on the hill and just watching like people walking and just like a quick gesture of them, and that helps you kind of understand as you're getting better at drawing people or dogs or even perspective, the angles of people are doing, and it costs nothing. It's just people watching, and it's completely free, and everyone can do it.
I've got to feel bad because I don't know how long have you been in Minneapolis in Minnesota now?
5 years. I moved
Okay.
during the plague.
From Jersey,
From Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. You're hanging out with Amish.
No, I was living like 10 minutes out of Philadelphia. Like, I was
Okay.
living not too far.
Philly's okay. Philly's there's it's always sunny in Philadelphia is what I
It
heard.
always is sunny in Philadelphia. I lived in a basically so I had just finished up a fellowship in Trinidad, Colorado, and I had
Oh,
moved in with a buddy, and I started dating my partner around this time, and we had made plans at the end of 2019, and at the end of right before COVID broke out, and we were making plans for me to move in with him because he had a little bit more stability. I'm not
oh,
gonna lie,
okay.
my job was okay. I wasn't making okay at my job, but I didn't own a house. He owned a house. um, so it was like, all right, I didn't really have a ton to take with me because I had moved already like twice in the last year at that point. To Trinidad, back to New Jersey, then down to Pennsylvania.
Trinidad sounds so exotic, and I'm like, oh, Trinidad.
Yeah, it unfortunately I went during the time when it was mostly closed,
Ah,
unfortunately.
okay.
It's a very spring town, spring summer town, and my fellowship was in the winter, so like stores weren't open and stuff like that. So that
Oh,
was a little lame, but
yeah, I was gonna say lame too. Yeah, 'cause it's like, oh, I can't experience the cool things, right? It's like
yeah.
you're limited, and I felt like that when I lived in New Mexico for a while, like because I was there so short. I was in the military, and I didn't get to experience like Taos and the beautiful parts of New Mexico that are amazing. I just got to stay in the ugly, flat, boring West Texas parts of New Mexico. Not great. But I was gonna say is. Something I would always say about when people live in a place, sometimes you don't always experience the awesome things that are in the state you are in. I've never been to Como Park, never been to
Really?
Como Zoo. My son used to go when he was in daycare. So, like, I will make a change because this looks absolutely beautiful. So
Mhm.
that's amazing. I would
Yeah.
expect that. And my mother is coming to visit in August. So we're going to go to Paisley Park, see where Prince made the magic happen. I'm so
I
excited.
went there with my
You
mom.
did. You already beat me. And I've been here 20
Yeah.
plus years.
It's the only thing my parents wanted when they came. Both of them, both sets were like, "I'd
Can't
like to
blame
go
them.
see the Prince house."
Yes.
And the
Uh,
first time it was closed because of COVID,
oh,
and
no.
they almost got arrested because they went to go check it out anyway. Like,
Oh, driving in the parking lot. Fun fact, I worked, like, for my company I work for, we have a production facility essentially across the street from Paisley Park. I
mhm.
worked out of that for 3 years. I had no clue that was Paisley Park. I just thought it was a big
Oh,
white building. So lame. I'm like, "Where's Paisley Park?" I'm, like, expecting a big purple building, and not so much, but now I will go visit it. It'll be awesome. My son's a music major at the University of Minnesota, so it makes sense for him to see where all this magic was happening. He's not really even a Prince fan yet, but I think hopefully he will become a Prince fan after he goes. So, um, with that, Ashley, Lady Ashley, I want to call you Lady Ashley because Ashley St. Lord sounds like you're a Bridgerton person. So I love that. I'm gonna ask one more question,
mhm.
and then I'm gonna ask you another question. So one
Okay.
real question, one question that's more for fun. What are you working on next that you would say people should be interested in, and that you're very excited about? Um, yeah, let's start there.
Okay, I am just trying to put together a tarot card deck of like witchy cat things, like witches and cats. I feel like that's my brand.
It
Cats.
is because I'm going to share your picture again because I mentioned it looks like that looks like the Queen of Hearts maybe or whatever the Queen of
Yeah.
Clubs. I don't know. I don't know tarot. I just know they're
Yeah.
cool and they look beautiful.
I get asked a lot, so I'm working on it. I'm I'm working I do a lot of small projects. I'm working
Mhm.
with a couple of indie game designers, but I have no idea when those
Oh, really?
for like for yeah, I'm working on a board game, but it's been like I have to do like 500 characters and we do it like in slow waves. So I'm 90% done, but I'm still waiting for the next wave of characters
That's
to
an
come.
amazing, way to think about that, like, because I think about
Yeah.
artists and what they can do, it's like, "Oh, yeah, I can design your characters. I can do this. You tell me you want, I'm amazing at doing that," and it's like, wow, I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear you're getting into that
Yeah.
area. That's awesome.
Mhm. And I that's like the fun thing I'm working on. A lot of small art stuff. Obviously I'm leaning heavy into cats because cats sell for me. So I have the three cats of my own, and but oh
Okay,
there.
so, let me follow up on your cats here. Let's everybody who's a cat fan, so, tell me all your cats, their
uh,
names, and what they look like, or what type of breed they are.
okay, baby girl, come here,
Oh, you
baby
got them
girl.
there to show?
Yeah, maybe she's.
Oh, do I have my cat?
Nope.
Where'd she go? Oh, I got my cat. I will show my cat too.
Come on,
You got
baby.
this
I
thing
need
here.
one baby. Come here.
Okay, one baby. I got one baby too.
Come
So I
here.
got Lulu.
Hmm.
Oh, she's kind of hard to see. Oh my goodness. Oh, can't see her. I've got a tuxedo cat here, Lulu.
My
You got a
tuxedo
black
ran
cat
away.
too?
Yeah, I have
Oh,
two. I have a tuxedo, a black guy, and then Chomsky. Come here, be a trooper, and my puppy.
ooh, what type of guy? What type of little guy do you have?
He is an Akita German Shepherd mix.
I love Akitas.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Chihuahua Boston Terrier, which we have now termed a Chibo because he's more Chihuahua than Boston Terrier. And then we also have a little tabby named Tilly. So I love that. I love all those things. I love the cats. I work for a pet food company that is very fun. So we always say cat is where it's at. It's just very, very fun. And cat people are crazy. So I will love to share your art, and hopefully people will say, hey, I want to buy stuff from this lady. So I'm showing your art page from ArtStation, and obviously it's not just cats. There's comic book heroes, a little bit of Mass Effect, which I love to pieces, D&D. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty awesome. A little Loki action happening in Spider-Gwen, which is the weirdest name in the world, but I know that's what it is. Spider-Man. This is awesome. It's just, this is like your portfolio to show, hey, these are fun things I've done. Or is these just vanity projects you just wanted to put out there?
Some of them are just like things I'm a little proud of. And if
Mhm.
you, okay, so two of them on there, and this is just going to be a dumb, stupid thing that I'm going to mention to you because we're talking about nerdy stuff.
Mhm.
Back in the day, I was on a Tumblr blog, and two of those pictures up there were from events that we were running, and that is the Red versus Blue Jedi thing up there.
Oh, red versus blue. That takes us back to a different age. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
little bit of that, right?
Uh-huh. But like there's a couple of things on there that were like very specifically like dumb jokes that built into something bigger.
Mhm.
And there's some things on there. Some of them are commissioned characters that people have described to me.
Mhm.
Like that tiefling with the crown of stars was a
Oh,
commission.
that's really great. Yeah, kind of
Hmm.
reminds me of something from almost Baldur's Gate 3 with some of their characters. That's pretty
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. With the little guy right there. Kind of reminds me of Lockheed from X-Men. Love that.
Yeah. Some
You got Impulse with Jay Garrick and a
No,
haircut.
that is Max Mercury. And I'm
Max
not
Mercury, that's right. Oh my god, how did I not know that? I love that series when Peter
and
David or no,
Mark Wade.
Mark Wade.
I have
Mark Wade is amazing. Yeah.
90% of the comic run there on that one.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
missing.
great art, great
Mhm.
characters. Love that run. Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that you've got the portal stuff going on. Some
Mhm.
great art there, and yeah, this is amazing. I love what you got. I love what you're dropping here. This is awesome. A little bit of even like the robot from Lost in Space. Come on now.
Okay, again, another sad story. I applied for a job to do the comic for Lost in Space
Man,
and did not get
you've
it.
got to find some way to uncurse yourself, Ashley. But the
They,
fact that you
they
got your name in the hat is half
yeah.
the battle, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they
Look.
liked it. They just felt it was a little too portraity looking. Not There
Ah.
wasn't enough movement.
Okay, got it. But I will tell you this: I am a fan of Mass Effect. It's my favorite, one of my favorite actual universes in the world. I have a
Mhm.
N7 helmet, and I've got a lot of friends who are huge fans of that. They even had, oh, I'm blanking on his name. The nerdy alien who sang the song Morden. That's
Yeah.
right. He got the voice of Morden to give him a cameo. So,
Ugh.
we are all in on the nerd. I love that to pieces. So I may have to like tell them, hey, they can, I know somebody might be able to do a custom art project for you and get you some cha-ching. It sounds like you're very busy though. You got a lot of
Oh, I
stuff in
can
the
always
fire.
make time for work. That is what Joe Kubert tells you the most important. You make time for jobs.
Yes,
Everything else can
absolutely.
be juggled.
Absolutely. So I'm able to put some cat people towards you because I think that a lot of people would want their cats immortalized in very amazing ways. So with that, excited to see where you go next. But from there, the question I typically ask people, I feel like I'm like the James Lipton, like if you entered you went to the gates of heaven, what would you say? No, my question is like this. You could meet, what is the one fictional character you'd love to meet and hang out with?
Ooh. All right, so how long of a time do I have? Because this depends. Do I have like infinite
It's
time with
your
this
time.
person, or
It's
do
your
I have
time.
like
Well,
an
you know what?
afternoon?
How about this? A nice meal where you do get like that time to have like the appetizer, a drink. You get the full meal, time to then have like your aperitif, your after dinner, and then dessert. So adequate time to just chill out, have a good time. Bathroom breaks.
Gonna go with Londo from Babylon 5.
You're a Babylon 5 fan? Oh my god, I am also a Babylon 5 fan. I have some old like Babylon 5. I'll send you a picture of this later. It was like Babylon 5 zine stuff that I sent to my friend. I sent him half the stuff. I love Londo, that hair,
The hair.
the scamp.
I think he'd be fun to have a conversation with. He'd be both interested in what I had to say, and he would also be interested in whatever he had to say.
Oh
Like
yeah, he would
he
be
would
waiting for always to talk, right? Like me.
Yeah, he'd be waiting to talk, but
Yep.
like he'd want like I could tell him a story about my life and then he would somehow tell a fun story about his life that matches it. And I think that would be a real fun like if we're doing like a dinner, that would be like a fun thing to do over dinner. And like he is such an interesting character and like I think he would be the fictional character if I had just like an after like a meal with. He'd be him.
And I'm just gonna share a picture of Londo because I don't know a lot of people, Babylon 5 is just a show that I feel like needs a reboot, a remaster. I know it's been happening. J. Michael Straczynski is gonna make this happen. I just really think it needs to because it's very hard to find, and it's such a great series. And I think a lot of people skipped over it because of other things that were at the time. But I think it's sometimes the actual better version, but I get laughed out by the Star Trek people, which sucks. They do that. But he's an amazing character, just goofy, fun,
Mhm.
serious, scary at times. And that dude knows how to enjoy the finer things in life. And he looks like a peacock. I don't know why I can't find like a good image here. I guess there we go. There's Londo. He's fun.
Yeah. And
And the
and here's the thing. Um I have a leaning towards characters who are awesome at revenge, and
oh yeah.
Londo's kind of amazing at revenge.
Oh, he's good, so good at the long game, right? He's like,
He's so
"I'm
good at the
gonna
long
get you eventually. You won't
Yeah.
know it, but you'll know it when it happens." And
I
just
can
keep
make it
laughing.
seem like you're getting me, you're beating me, and no, I've taken everything from you.
And he's very self-deprecating at times, but he's also knows like, "Yeah, I want you to think I'm self-deprecating. I don't think I'm, but yeah, always get the upper hand." Love that character. Love Babylon 5. So good. I want it to be embraced when it hasn't been embraced, man. I tell you, so much good things about Babylon 5. But we get on to that. With that though, the last question I have for you is, what is one character you would love to illustrate uh in a job that could make it just blow up? What was that one character you'd love to illustrate?
Like I said, I could do the Legion right.
Which character though? Which character?
I would
Say
pick
if there's one
obviously I
character.
pick Brainiac 5, but here's the thing, I only pick him because that way I can write in Ron Vidar. Like a story with Ron Vidar.
Is it? It's kind of amazing, like all of the characters that are there. Because like when you mentioned that, I'm like, I don't even know that character, which is just kind of
You
crazy.
do. He is the last Green Lantern.
Oh God! You know what? This is
Brainiac's 5's only other friend.
the funny part about this is, as a kid, Green Lantern is my favorite DC character.
Mhm.
I don't care who, Hal Jordan. I love the core. Everybody's
Mhm.
awesome. I grew up with Green Lantern with Hal Jordan, but I mean, I embrace everybody else, Kyle Rayner, and I grew, in my pride and joys, and I even talked to uh, some of the writers who wrote that series about how Green Lantern kind of went crazy, and it's just great. And we're getting this awesome Lantern series, which I'm so excited for. But the fact that you talked about that, and I didn't even know about this Green Lantern, and then we're gonna get hopefully in the DCU proper those movies. I'm so excited for Supergirl,
I
and yeah.
I don't think we'll ever get a proper Legion adaptation. I'm just at this point setting
What's the
myself.
closest? Has it been like Smallville?
I did not like the adaptation of Smallville.
That's about it. I'm like, oh no, yeah.
Well, they had the cartoon. The cartoon was okay.
I
Uh,
really, yeah, I really like the
Yeah,
cartoon. So.
the first scene of the cartoon was kind of perfect, if I'm gonna be honest. If that was the closest, I was like, okay, they couldn't say Superboy, but they did their best to get around that. They took the best way that because they had been building Brainiacs, Kaluans as robots for 10 years at that point. They found a fun way to make Brainiac 5 a fun robot instead of just a robot. I loved that. All the characters were fun and light. And then they did the stupid 5-year gap thing again.
Of course they do.
Why would they do that again?
They do.
Why
Yeah,
would they do that? It didn't work the first time.
there we go.
Yeah.
But it sounds like we are going to get Brainiac finally in the next Superman film. So we'll get a really cool adversary. Not the Brainiac 5 we love, but the interesting evil Brainiac that we've gotten.
Actually, I take back my answer. I would not do Legion. I would love to do Legion, but if I had the choice to pick a character, I would do Brainiac 2.
Brainiac 2? I don't even know Brainiac 2. Is that the Brainiac robot?
That's the Legion 98 version that has Lobo in it.
Oh, got it. I didn't even know there was a different version. I thought it was always Brainiac 5. I don't know if there was another Brainiac 2 or
Okay.
Wow, I'm feeling like you're she's-plaining me Brainiac, and I'm like, I didn't even know this. So
this was like a fun. This was when they started bringing the Legion stuff into like mixed matching, which kind of broke the Legion. But at the start of it, it was a pretty fun idea. They were doing like a Legion version in what was the modern comics. So
because the name of the character, I believe, is it Frill Dox?
Yeah, he is the best anti-hero ever because he is a good guy to 100% spite his dad. Like he hates Brainiac so much that he became Brainiac 2, the best. Like he's like, I still feel like he's not a good person. He knows he's not a good person. He feels the need to conquer planets, so he just does it as like a police officer and like builds an army to protect everybody, and then he's like the guy in charge of that planet. And like there is even a comic where Brainiac 2 and Brainiac 5 are together and they stop Brainiac 1 and they end up beating him with sticks. And Vril 2.
I love that. I mean, why not? Technology, what is it? The world's gonna end with like people throwing stones at computers.
Yeah, and he was like, and after they beat him up, they're like, we're telling everyone we outthought him. Like he was like, we're telling him we didn't do this. We're telling everyone we thought like we came up with a clever way to stop him.
We're gonna lie. We beat him down with force, but we're gonna tell him we did it with brain power.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That's amazing. Man, I love when people can just go in the depths of like, oh, I didn't even know that. It's amazing. So impressive. I always say as a geek, I'm like, I am a jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not the deepest person, but I've now met somebody who's now the master of lore for the Legion of Superheroes. I yield to you, my liege. So thank you so much for that.
No problem. We can talk about Legion any day.
It sounds amazing. I'll have to share you some of my comics. I have a list of like online that you can see all the comics I have. A lot of them are Legion, and they're just amazing. Love them so much. Well, this has been an amazing conversation. I love this so much. Whether it's Brainiac, it's comic books, it's cats, it's Doctor Who projects that didn't work. Maybe it's a Dark Tower series where we blame Ron Howard for everything. We should. But that's not the point of the show. It's to say thank you, Ashley, for joining this podcast. from a person I just met at a video game conference to learning so much about you, your amazing art. So with that though, I want to tell people where they can find your stuff. So please let people know where they can find your stuff. I have this in the podcast notes and everything, but I want to make sure people can, if they want you to make their cats awesome or anything else, how can they reach out to you?
I have a website. It is divinedesigns.info, I believe. Should really know my own website, huh?
It
Yeah.
is that indeed, because I looked it
Yeah.
up because I'm like, oh, hey, this is where she is. So
Uh-huh.
I will share that right now on the screen.
Yeah.
It says those awesome pictures, those
Uh,
awesome cats I shared earlier. There's even a dog and a
yeah.
angel person. It's
Yeah.
amazing. But look at
Um,
that cat. Look at that cat.
I'm on BlueSky as Divine Designs. I just haven't updated it because I'm real bad at the social media stuff. You can find me on Redbubble, Saint Ash, if you want some Dungeons and Dragons T-shirt. I link that one too. Yeah, and I am on Instagram as divinedesigns.info, but again, I'm not great at um updating
You
my
artists, you
social.
you fancy people need to get on it, and you
Yeah.
need people like me that are like my wife, like, honey, you should do this. So, but yeah, please check out our stuff. It'll be in the links
Hmm.
too, so you don't have to look too far to find that.
Yeah. And I'll be at Convergence in July and Twin Cities in the fall
Twin
in
Cities Con.
November.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be very exciting. It's been
Hmm.
a big con. It's great. Glad we got that there. And yeah, there'll be more video game cons, more things like that. So yeah, definitely check out Ashley's socials, all for stuff. And she can make you some cool merch if you'd love it to be there. So this has been a wonderful conversation, Ashley. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to check out my stuff, I'm at Todd Oxtra at let's see, at Todd Oxtra, at T Oxtra on Blue Sky's Instagram. Check out the Fandom Foundry for all the stuff I actually make on Blue Sky, Instagram. Also, we have a YouTube channel. We have a Discord. We have a website, and we're on podcast services around the globe. And we are looking to do some amazing merch. I suck at it, so I may have to employ Ashley to say, Ashley, I need your help. Can you help me make cool merch? So
I
we'll see
can.
how that goes because I love awesome artists. So there we go. So with that, Ashley, thank you so much. Everybody else who's following this, please check out Ashley's stuff. And remember, folks, if you're not a maker today, maybe you'll now be a maker because of the guests I just talked to. So with that, I say thank you. Check out our stuff and have a good night. We'll chat later. Have a good day. Bye bye.